Alright everyone, hello and welcome to part, I think 7? Part 7 of this Battle Frontier series. Again, this video I'm going to go over B tier Pokemon, and these are Pokemon that are pretty good. I wouldn't highly recommend them, but they are good sources and you can make some really good teams with them if you use them the right way. So, this list, or this ranking, contains more Pokemon than the S tier and A tier, so grab some popcorn because it's probably going to be a long video. So first off, to begin, we have Venusaur. So what I gave Venusaur is a Jolly Nature. Now Venusaur, despite it being a starter, and we know how popular it is, a lot of people agree it's not the best Pokemon, but you can still, it's still useful. This generation, I think it mainly gets hurt by just not having a move like Leaf Blade, you know, that Sceptile has. That's what most grass types struggle with in this generation. But he has great all-around stats. As you can see, they're all above 200. So I gave this is an offensive Venusaur. So I gave him EVs and speed and attack. I gave him a few, I think an HP, maybe special attack. But here's the set I gave him. Swords Dance with Sludge Bomb Earthquake for 2 attacking physical moves, and then Giga Drain for stab on the special side. So I feel like this is a really good set to give him. Another optional set would be more defensive if you want to give him like Sleep Powder and Leech Seed, or you can give him like a Toxic set with like Double Team, and you know, make him like a Double Team Troller with Leech Seed and Toxic. But I feel like this is the best choice for Venusaur, in my opinion at least. Again, his problem is that he just doesn't have as much coverage as I wish he could, and just not enough moves. In later gens he becomes better, but in this generation, like as you can see, Giga Drain, only 60 power and only 5 PP, so yeah. Raichu. Alright, so Raichu, I know it's pretty weird that I put Raichu in B tier. Most people probably have him like C tier. But the reason why is because Raichu has pretty solid attack and special attack, and good speed too. So you can make it very, pretty useful. And so here's the set I gave it. Pretty strange to look at, but I gave it Endure and Reversal. So you can give it that with like Salic Berry, or another one of the berries that may not increase speed, but they increase like attack whenever it's in low health. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe like Yamcha Berry or something, I don't know. But you can attach that because it's already really fast. So I gave it Endure and Reversal, and then instead of giving it Thunderbolt, I gave it Thunder for extra power. I know it's lower accuracy, but it's extra power because it only has 195 special attack, and I wanted to still give it a stab move. So I gave it Thunder, and then Iron Tail for just an extra coverage move, which will come pretty in handy because Iron Tail is a really strong move with low accuracy, but it's kind of an underrated move in this generation. I mean, I know only 75 accuracy, but 100 power, that's as much as Earthquake. Think about that. So Neato Queen. So I mentioned before that Neato Queen is not as good as Neato King. The thing about Neato Queen is that she's better defensively. She's more of a defensive mon than Neato King, but she still just doesn't have enough like firepower, so to say. Her speed is pretty subpar, but you know, you can still do something, you know, with her move pool. I think that's the main thing that puts her in that B spot. So this one, again, she still has higher attack than special attack. I think in the last video I mentioned that Neato Queen's special attack is higher than attack, but that's actually not true. Her attack is higher. So I'm like, okay, well, may as well give her a physical attacking set. So actually what I did here is I raised the defenses a bit, raised the speed a little bit, and gave most of the EVs to attack. I know it's kind of weird, but I don't know. And here's the moveset. So Earthquake for stab, Shadow Ball for coverage, Sludge Bomb for stab, and then Ice Beam for coverage against other ground types. I feel like this set can be pretty useful, more than you would think. You can also run, of course, like a maybe counter. If you want to run counter on Neato Queen and make her like a defensive mon, that works too. Again, she can learn all the moves that Neato King can learn. So Mega Horn, Horn Drill, those kind of things work. Violet Bloom. Okay, so Violet Bloom is very interesting in this generation because I don't know, it's one of those Pokemon that are pretty tough figuring out like what's the best moveset for it. Because it's a grass type, and grass types, similar to electric types, they don't get that many options. At least with electric types, they get Thunderbolt, but grass types don't really have that one great move, you know? So Violet Bloom, I gave it a Bolt Nature, because I'm like, may as well make this more of a defensive mon. No point making it offensive, because I mean, what am I going to give it? On the special side, the only special moves they can use are grass type moves. And then the only physical moves it can learn are, of course, like Sludge Bomb and then normal type moves. So I'm like, you may as well make it defensive. You don't really have a choice. So I gave it its EV spread and defense, and a little bit in special attack, as you can see, and HP. I think this is the best if you want to take on the Battle Frontier, because Violet Bloom would just get destroyed by flying fire types. So here's the set I gave it. Sunny Day, which sounds weird, but Sunny Day would activate Chlorophyll. And along with Sunny Day, you can use Toxic for, you know, just defensive Pokemon reasons. Ingrain, which is basically like a move that recovers, it restores HP after each turn. The only problem is that you can't switch out once you use it, but Ingrain is actually a pretty dang good move. And then Petal Dance, whoops, sorry. And then Petal Dance, which is a pretty strong move. It's a solid grass type move, actually. The only thing is that you're locked into it for 2 to 3 turns, and then it confuses you afterwards. So if you want to put like a Person Berry on Violet Bloom, or what's it called, Miracle Seed, I wouldn't. You could maybe go with Leftovers, because like Leftovers, excuse me, I'm sorry for yawning. Leftovers along with Ingrain is pretty good. Dugtrio. So Dugtrio is a really good lead Pokemon. If you have him on your team, he definitely needs to be your lead mon, because he has Arena Trap, which prevents the foe from switching out. Which the AI on this game, they don't really switch out that often, unless they're advanced AI, and even advanced AI don't do it a lot. They do it sometimes. But Arena Trap still is a great move, or a great ability. The thing about Dugtrio is he has like no defense and very low HP, but he's really fast and he has good attack. So having that, when you mix it along with these 4 moves, it's really good. Earthquake for stab, obviously. But this is interesting. Dugtrio can actually learn Sludge Bomb. So this is good coverage against grass types that you run into. He can learn Aerial Ace, which is also good for grass types, and then Rock Slide for extra coverage. Now, what makes Dugtrio so unique is that he's a really fast ground type. I think he's like the fastest ground type, at least one of the fastest ground types in the game. So being able to use like a fast stab Earthquake is so good, and he's actually like, don't sleep on Dugtrio. I mean, he's not like the best because again, like he's extremely frail. Like pretty much one strong move of any typing will probably kill it. But like you can take out some teams with this Dugtrio, so don't sleep on it. So Golduck. So Golduck, it's a solid Pokemon. The thing about Golduck is its stats are just kind of they're alright. They're in like the 80s and 90s. I think one of them are like in the 70s. But it's nothing like outstanding about Golduck, really. He has a cool design. But I gave him a Timid Nature, which increases the speed, lowers the attack. So here's his stats. This is, I think, the best his speed can be. Maybe a little higher, but when you look at it here, it's actually pretty dang good. He won't be able to take too many hits, but with this, You can run this set with Calm Mind, Surf, Ice Beam, and Hypnosis. Surf and Ice Beam for obvious reasons. Calm Mind, which is actually unique because he can learn it despite not being that type. And then if you run those 4, that's pretty good. Some other move options you can give Golduck. If you want to make him more of a physical attacker, he can learn Cross Chop. He can learn Iron Tail. I think, let's see, what other move can he learn? There's one I'm forgetting. There's a few I'm forgetting. But these are pretty good for Golduck if you want to give him these. So Hypnosis is a great move to get on him, even though it's only like 55. Whoops. It's only, okay, 60 accuracy. I thought it was 55. Maybe it got lowered in next gen. But yeah. Damp is a pretty solid ability. It might come in handy, you never know, because there are quite a few Pokemon out there that love to spam Explosion or Self-Destruct, so having Golduck out is pretty good for that. Alright, as you saw, Arcanine was the next mon, so I know it's kind of weird to have Arcanine all the way down in B tier, because Arcanine... Oh my god, this yawning needs to stop, I'm sorry. But which is weird, because I know like Arcanine is... It's the legendary dog Pokemon, that's like its description. So why is it only in B tier? Well, because it doesn't have that many move options, and this being 3rd gen, it's pretty limited, but it's still really good. It has great ability in Intimidate. Its other ability is Flash Fire, which increases its special attack whenever it's hit by a fire move. But I think Intimidate is definitely better, because Intimidate is one of the best abilities in all of Pokemon. So I gave it a Timid nature because I wanted to mainly be a special attacker, but I made sure its attack didn't get too low because I believe there's one attacking move I gave it. But as you can see, like that high 317 speed with about 300 special attack, 230 attack, and 322 HP. So he can actually take a hit, maybe 2. Especially with Intimidate, he'll be able to do that. And then here's the set I gave him. So instead of Flamethrower or Fire Blast, I gave him Overheat. So with Overheat, often the item I would recommend is a White Herb. So I would give him White Herb, Crunch for extra coverage. There we go, yawning again. Crunch for extra coverage. What was I gonna say? Yeah, because Crunch is it's a good move, you know. Sorry, I'm not thinking of what I'm saying. Extreme Speed, which for some reason they gave Extreme Speed only 5 PP in this generation. I guess it is a really good move because it has high power, and it also has priority. It's like Quick Attack, but it's doubled the power. And then Sunny Day. So Sunny Day helps boost, you know, the power of Overheat, and then it, you know, kind of neutralizes those pesky water types that he'll run into. One of the main problems with this moveset, though, as you can see, is 3 of these moves only have 5 PP. So often in the Battle Frontier, you're going to run into PP stallers with Pressure and Double Team and Protect and Substitute. Those kind of Pokemon you're going to run into often. So if you're afraid of running into those kind of Pokemon, I wouldn't really recommend using Arcanine because they're going to take advantage of him. But this is a strong, you know, definitely offensive set. And of course, like, I would have given him Solar Beam, but in this generation, most fire types actually cannot learn Solar Beam yet. So, yeah, I couldn't really think of many other moves. You could give him Roar. You can give him, like, Iron Tail. But this is typically the best set to give Arcanine. Tentacruel. Alright, so Tentacruel is awesome. I really like Tentacruel because it's just, again, it's one of those jack of all trades type of Pokemon. It was tough for me to figure out, like, what's a great moveset in my opinion for it. So it has 2 abilities, Clear Body and excuse me, Clear Body and Liquid Ooze. Now I feel like Clear Body is better because those who are using, like, just those stat lowering attacks on you, it doesn't do anything. You don't have to worry about people using Intimidate either, even though it won't really affect him because he's not using any moves on his physical side. But also I gave him a timid nature because he's going to be a special attacker. But as you can notice, his special defense is pretty high as well. And he's really fast with solid special attack. I said special attacker, but he's not like a sweeper. He's mainly like utility. So I gave him Hydro Pump for extra boost and his water stab move. Toxic because Toxic is awesome. Mirror Coat to take advantage of his special defense, and then Ice Beam for coverage. I think there's a really good set for him, but he has some other moves you can use. You can give him Barrier, you can give him Giga Drain, you can give him Sludge Bomb, you can actually give Tentacle Sword Stance. So if you want like to run like a Sword Stance, Sludge Bomb, Return set with like Hydro Pump to make him physical offensive. If you want him to be better like defensively, you can do that to boost his physical defense. But I like this set for him. I think it's good. It has all the right moves on it. And the item I would give him would probably just be leftovers. Golem. So Golem, in my opinion, is like the great value version of Rhydon. Golem, it's just not as physically strong. But what I did here was for Golem, I gave him higher special defense. I raised his special defense EVs because I want him to be able to take, you know, at least like one Ice Beam. You know what I mean? One, I don't think he'll be able to take a Surf still. I don't think he'll be able to take a Giga Drain. He might be able to take a Giga Drain because it's only 60 power. But that's why I raised his special defense, because otherwise every special attacking move is going to destroy him. So his attack sits at 256. And here's the set I gave him. Very similar to Rhydon's, but instead of Mega Horn, because he can't even learn it, I gave him Counter to take advantage of his defense. And the others are pretty much self-explanatory. Dodrio. Okay. Dodrio. I love Dodrio. So Dodrio has won me so many battles in the Battle Factory because it's so underrated. Like Dodrio, first of all, I don't know how it doesn't have the Intimidate ability because it looks intimidating. And I don't know why it gave it Runaway. I gave it Early Bird, but it's showing up as Runaway right now. But Early Bird is obviously better. And I gave it a Jolly Nature to boost its speed. Now the thing that makes Dodrio special, of course, it's similar to Fearow in that it has high speed and high attack. So you're thinking it's just like a normal bird type Pokemon. And early gens, like what's so special about it? Well, it has Tri-Attack, and Tri-Attack is such an awesome move. Drill Peck, Steel Wing, and Protect. Now over Protect, if you want, you can give it Double Edge. Double Edge, the reason why I say Double Edge is I kid you not, like if you put like Adamant on this thing, you'll be surprised at how many Pokemon it can just one-shot with Double Edge. It's a really good lead Pokemon because it's so strong. Like this is 319 attack stat that's not even with an Adamant nature. Can you imagine how much higher that would be with Adamant? So I definitely recommend Dodrio. Of course, its main flaw is in its defenses, but Steel Wing is pretty good to cover Ice and Rock types, Drill Peck and Tri-Attack for stab, and then I give it Protect. You can also give it like Toxic or maybe Substitute, or I wouldn't give it Feint Attack because that runs on its special side, which is really low. But yeah, this is a great set for Dodrio. I actually have a team in mind that I want to use with Dodrio because he's so fun to use. And I'll probably give him Sharp Beak, maybe. Muck. Alright, so Muck. Sorry, I don't know why that came out like that. So Muck is a very interesting Pokemon because he's strong. Like, he's strong, he's a poison type. And, of course, he's really slow. A lot of poison types are real slow in this generation. But he has a really good move pool. Sorry, I have to drink water. He has a really good move pool. I gave him Adamant Nature because I want him I feel like I like Muk being like a strong physical wall breaker. He's just real slow, but he has really high HP. It's over 400, and his special defense is pretty solid too. So Stench, oh my god, why is, whatever. I didn't want him to have Stench. But anyways, here's the moveset I gave him. Sludge Bomb for stab, and then I gave him Curse. He can learn Curse, which is going to increase that attack and defense. It's going to lower his speed, but that doesn't matter. He's already slow. Brick Break for extra coverage to break walls, like bulky steel types and stuff. And then Shadow Punch. So Shadow Punch is very awesome. It's a move that doesn't miss. I can't remember if he can learn Sword, or not Sword Stance, he can't learn Sword Stance, but I can't remember if he can learn Shadow Ball or not, but I'm like, yo, Shadow Punch is pretty good for Muk, because, you know, for all the double team spammers, that's gonna be good for them. Now, some other moves you can give Muk would include, let me pull it up here, you can give him Acid Armor, you can give him Explosion, Haze, Focus Punch, Taunt. He can learn quite a few special attacking moves, but you don't want to give him that. It's set for Fire Blast. Now, a lot of people, some people have given Muk like Fire Blast, even though he has low special attack, just for that extra coverage, but I feel like it's not really worth it. This is the best for him, in my opinion. Executor. Okay, so Executor, I love Executor. It's awesome. It's just a really cool, funny Pokemon that I love. But he's not super great in this generation, unfortunately. But I do like his Chlorophyll ability, and I like his typing too. I feel like you can use a bunch of different like sets with him, whether it's physical defensive, special defensive, stalling, offensive, or special attack, whatever. Like, so I gave him Bold, and I made him kind of an all-around type guy. He has high special attack naturally. Like, you're looking at his 286 special attack. I kid you not. I did not train him at all in special attack EVs. He has no special attack EVs. All of his EVs are going to HP and his defenses. Now, the only thing about Executor, of course, is that he's really slow. So if you want to give him Sunny Day to boost his Chlorophyll, that's fine. But here's the set I gave him. Sleep Arrows, Psychic, Leech Seed, and Sludge Bomb. So Sludge Bomb is going to be pretty good for extra coverage against grass, I guess, if you run into another grass type. Leech Seed is definitely a really good move to have on him. And the other two are pretty much self-explanatory. Now, he can learn Sword Stance. I think he can learn Sword Stance. Let me check. I might be wrong, but I think he can. I know he can learn Explosion, he can learn Curse, he can learn Hypnosis, Ancient Power, Moonlight, Reflect, Synthesis, Toxic, Light Screen, Giga Drain. Like, he can learn quite a few moves, and so he's just really fun to use. Trying to figure out like what's the best set for him. So yeah, I keep going out of the menu by accident. So Executor is really fun. If you just want to like test out a Pokemon that has like a really wide move pool, he's one to use. Like, he's just a fun guy. Another poison type, we have Wheezing. So Wheezing is really good. You'll notice with a lot of these B set Pokemon, they have like great move pools, but their stats just aren't there, or vice versa. So Wheezing is the former. He has Levitate, which covers his ground type weakness, so he only has one weakness now. But obviously he's really slow. His special attack isn't that high, but he has great defenses, and his attack stat isn't too bad, and he has good HP. Wheezing is a really good all-around Pokemon to have on your team. Here's the moves I gave him. Destiny Bond, Will-O-Wisp, Sludge Bomb, and Fire Blast. Yeah, 2 fire type moves on a Wheezing. Now, you can also give him Thunderbolt. I believe he can learn Thunderbolt. He might be able to learn Ice Beam too. Let me check. I think Wheezing can learn Ice Beam as well. So if you want to make him like just a straight up special attacker, that would be pretty cool. Let's see. cannot learn Ice Beam, never mind. Okay, that's why I checked. But he has like a wide move pool. He can learn Explosion. So if you want him to be like a physical attacker that's just real slow, you can give him Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb. Let's see, Return, or I don't know, Body. I don't think he can learn Body Slam, but you get the point. Like, you can also make him a special attacker. He can also learn moves like Pain Split. He can learn Haze, Explosion, as I mentioned, Memento, which sharply lowers the foe's attack and special attack, but then it kills you. I don't really like the move Memento. I've never have really liked it, because all they have to do is switch out to neutralize those stats back. He can actually learn Psybeam and Psywave too. You can give him Taunt. Let's see, Flamethrower and Fire Blast, like I mentioned. So Wheezing he's really good. He's a good defensive anchor to have on your squad. Just be careful of his speed, pretty much. Kangaskhan. So Kangaskhan is a fast and pretty strong normal type. He doesn't have the best of move pools, but you can do quite a bit with him. Item I would like to give him is either like maybe Leftovers or a Salic Berry. This one's trained in attack and speed. And this is the moveset I gave him. I know it's another Endure reversal, but I also gave him Shadow Ball for coverage and then Body Slam for stab. Of course, instead of Body Slam, you could give him like Double Edge or Return. Either one works. But Shadow Ball would be pretty good on him. He can also learn Fake Out, so if you want to give him Fake Out, that wouldn't be a bad idea. A move that I actually really like is Crush Claw. So Crush Claw is a move that has like 75 power. I think it's 100 accuracy. It might be like 90, 95, but I think it's 100. And it's like a 30% chance to lower the foe's defense, which is pretty dang good, because like nearly every time I use Crush Claw in the Battle Frontier, it lowers the foe's defense. Nearly every time. It's insane. So this is probably the best set. He can learn Earthquake. I don't even think he can learn Rock Slide, but I know he can learn Brick Break. But I think this is in terms of like coverage and stuff like that, this is probably best. He can also learn Dizzy Punch, Counter. He can learn a lot of special attacking moves, but obviously you're not worried about that. If you want to give him Aerial Ace, you can, to deal with fighting types, but Aerial Ace isn't that strong of a move, so it's like, eh. Mr. Mime. Alright, so Mr. Mime is, thing about Mr. Mime is he is very, very frail, but he's really fast. Okay, not really fast, but he's pretty fast, and he has good special attack and good special defense. Soundproof is an alright ability. It's not the best, but he has some great moves he can learn. Obviously, he has the move coming from his stab. He can learn Thunderbolt. He can learn Ice Beam. He can learn, I think, Magical Leaf. He can learn the Elemental Punches. And this other move he can learn is Trick. And what Trick does is it switches your Pokemon and the opponent's held items. So this will come in handy, I'm telling y'all. If you can outspeed the opponent and you're holding like a Choice Band, you can use Trick to switch it onto a Pokemon that doesn't have that many attacking moves. Now, be careful when using Trick, because you might give the other Pokemon a good item and end up backfiring against you. But Trick is pretty good. You can also give it Encore to troll a bit, but I feel like this is a good set for him. So yeah, just give him like special attacking moves and maybe some other status, or you know, some other cool moves along with him. Jinx, more or less the same with Mr. Mime. It's very similar, but it's even faster and has even higher special attack. But its defense is even worse. I think its HP is higher though. But Jinx, I gave it Ice Beam with Mean Look and Perish Song. So what Mean Look it does is it keeps the opponent Pokemon from being able to switch out or leave the battle. And then Parasong, which basically both Pokemon on the field, whenever you use Parasong, they're gonna faint in 3 turns. Now, of course, you can use Mean Look along with Parasong and just like sacrifice Jinx, which is a pretty annoying thing to go against, so it's pretty fun to use. But that's pretty much the best you're gonna get out of Jinx. It can learn, I think it can learn Baton Pass. You know, you can go with like a Calm Mind Baton Pass set. I think it can also learn, what's that one other move that I'm thinking of? What's that other move that I'm thinking about? Let me see real quick. Wish, it can learn Wish. No, that's pretty much it. So yeah, Oblivious is alright. If you want to give it skill swap over to like give Oblivious to someone else and then get like a really good ability, that would not be a bad idea at all. Electabuzz. So Electabuzz is one of the best electric types, honestly, because he has like one of the best electric type like move pools. I wish more electric types got love like Electabuzz did, but he's fast and he has great special attack. He has pretty solid attack as well. His special defense isn't bad, his HP isn't bad. And here's the set I gave him: just 4 special attacking moves with 2 of the elemental punches. I think this has really good coverage. The only thing about Electabuzz is I wish he was faster. Oh dang, he is really fast though. Okay, that's faster than I thought. Yeah, his base speed is like 108, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty good. This is really good. Some other moves you can give him Cross Chop. He can learn Cross Chop, which is another great move to give him. But honestly, I'm thinking maybe Electabuzz could have went in A tier, because he has like what other electric types can learn all these moves? Like Ice Punch to cover ground types. That's really good. Magmar. Alright, so Magmar is similar to Electabuzz for fire types. He gets more love than some fire types because he gets Thunder Punch, which quite a few fire types do get Thunder Punch, especially the starters. But Flame Body is a solid ability. I gave him Timid Nature because I gave him 4 special attacking moves. So I know it's pretty weird that I gave him Fire Blast and Flamethrower. Fire Blast, the reason I gave him that is because I couldn't really think of any other move to give him on this special side. The only other move you could give him would be like Cross Chop, which you could, I guess, to, you know, have coverage against like rock types. But I feel like Fire Blast can help like knock down those extra special walls that you're dealing with. Just give you that extra power. Pinsir. Okay, Pinsir is another underrated Pokemon before its Mega that it gets in later generations. Hyper Cutter is pretty good. Hyper Cutter basically negates Intimidate, and then it also can take advantage of an Adamant Nature to give it 383 attack. That's crazy. So Pinsir is actually very similar to Heracross in that these are strong physical attacking bug type Pokemon. Heracross is better, but Pinsir cannot be slept on either. Like he has better defense than Heracross. He's about just as fast as Heracross too. And so here's the moveset I gave him. It's pretty funny because I gave him Earthquake for coverage against fire and rock types, Brick Break for, you know, wall breaking, and then Guillotine. So Guillotine is the other one-hit KOing move that I always forget about this move, but Guillotine is also a one-hit KO move that not as many Pokemon get, but Pinsir is one of them. And then Swords Dance. Now you can give him like Rock Slide, you can give him a normal type move, but I think these are, you can also give him Mega Horn too. Like Mega Horn, you can't go wrong with that either. But I think these 4 moves would be fun to use. A lot of people wouldn't give him Guillotine, which I understand, but I kind of did that for fun, to be honest. Tauros. Okay, so Tauros, the main thing that really put Tauros in this tier is his Intimidate ability. Just such a great ability, and he's such a good lead for that reason. High attack, high speed, pretty good HP. His defense isn't too bad either, but his move pool is pretty whack. As you can see, you know it's pretty bad when you see Double Team, because I couldn't really think of any other moves to give him. But Thrash is actually pretty good with the Person Berry, Earthquake, Iron Tail, and then Double Team. You can maybe give him like Substitute or Double Edge or whatever, but you're not going to get that many move options out of Tauros though, so yeah. Gyarados. Alright, so Gyarados is one of the top Pokemon that benefited the most from the physical special split. And the main reason that is he doesn't have that many moves he can use in this generation. But he does get the Intimidate ability. He has really high attack. His speed is pretty good. And he can learn Dragon Dance. The fact that he can learn Dragon Dance is such a huge thing. So I gave him 2 physical moves, Earthquake and Double Edge. And instead of giving him like Substitute or Thunder Wave, I gave him Taunt. Excuse me. I gave him Taunt, which Taunt is a pretty dang good, like, Taunt is one of the most underrated moves to use in the Battle Frontier. I highly recommend Taunt on at least one of your Pokemon that you use, because I'm telling you, it's going to save you so much from the worries of Double Team, Leech Seed, Substitute, all those kind of spammers. One Taunt puts all your worries away. And that's why Gyarados can be good for that. And along with the Taunt, he could just set up Dragon Dance and just sweep them away. He can't take advantage of his water side. He can learn Thunder, Blizzard, Surf, you know, all that. But he don't really have physical moves. Like a normal type move along with Earthquake is all you're going to get from Gyarados here. Lapras. So Lapras is pretty good because it's just pretty bulky, and it has a great move pool and a great ability in Water Absorb. This one has obviously high special attack. Thing about Lapras though is it's pretty dang slow, but it has really high HP too. So I just gave it 4 special attacking moves, which I feel like is good for it. I feel like if you want to use an effective Lapras, you can. You can also give Lapras Hypnosis. It can actually learn Dragon Dance too, but you don't really want a physical Dragon Dance attacking Lapras. It can learn... what other move? Can it learn Earthquake? I don't think it can. But anyways, yeah. There's a few others that I'm thinking about, but oh yeah, it can learn Sheer Cold if you want to give it that. But this is the same exact move pool as Starmie's, but Starmie just does it better because it's better. Starmie has better special attack and speed, but Lapras does it well as well. And finally, Ditto. So Ditto is interesting. If you know anything about Ditto, is oh, it's level 0. I didn't even notice that. If you're wondering why I put Ditto here and you're not like too familiar with it, Ditto is a Pokemon that, as you can tell by its name, it has only one move, and that move is called Transform. And all it does is it turns into the Pokemon you're playing against. So, with that being said, take advantage of that. Ditto can be really fun to use on teams. I give him Bold Nature to boost his defense a little bit whenever he becomes that Pokemon. Well, I don't even think it makes a difference though. But yeah, Ditto's like just very fun to use. But he's pretty good. Like, he is pretty good. If you want to give him like Choice Band, like a Choice Banded Ditto would be fun to use to see what could happen, to see what moves you'll get. Because you never know what's going to happen, like who you're going to end up transforming into, so yeah. Alright, I think that, yeah, that completes that PC bot, so let's move on to the next. And for this tier ranking. I'm gonna have to cut it into the next few videos because there's so many mons in it. As you can tell, I've done it by like the Pokédex order that I listed all these mons in. So here's Jolteon, another fast special attacking electric type. Not much to say about Jolteon, honestly. Has really high speed and good special attack. And so here's what I did here. Notice hidden power. I think this is the first Pokemon I gave hidden power to. So I did the through the editor that I used, I gave this Jolteon hidden power grass to deal with water types and to deal with ground types. I know you're like, water types, it already has Thunderbolt. Well, okay, well maybe not water types, but hidden power grass is good. Hidden power grass will take out Rhydons, Golems, and along with Thunderbolt, and Bite, like that's really good, and then Quick Attack for extra priority. But like these, excuse me, with these three moves, like that, like this Jolteon is actually gonna come quite handy. In fact, I might use him. But this hidden power grass, it's 70 base power. Hidden power's max power is 70. I think we talked about that in the earlier episode. So that's not bad at all, honestly. So it's definitely useful, and yeah. Aerodactyl. Okay, this will be the last one I talk about in this video. This video is already past 40 minutes long. But Aerodactyl is a really good flying type because he has really high power, really high speed. Rockhead is a great ability if you could use the move Double Edge, and I gave him Adamant Nature. And as you can see, his speed is still really high. That's because Aerodactyl is extremely fast. Its defenses are just horrible though. Any surf move is just going to destroy him. But give him 4 of these moves: Earthquake, Rock Slide, Aerial Ace, and Double Edge, and he's good to go pretty much. He's a great lead, I think. He's a great lead to have on your squad. Now, this is a gen that I wish that Stealth Rock existed, because you can give him like Stealth Rock over maybe Rock Slide, but that's fine. Like, this is still a really good set for Aerodactyl. So next time we'll cover the rest of the B tier Pokemon, and I think after we do B tier, I won't really get into C tier because it's just gonna take too long, and I know y'all want to see me actually start battling. But these informational videos are meant to help people try and beat Battle Frontier, because I know it's very difficult, and so I just want to go over like the best Pokemon to use, so you can kind of get an idea of what type of team of 3 that you want to do, and the different facilities, as well as the items and stuff. So we'll continue this next time, and I'll see you guys later.